What just happened in Baltimore isn't just another loss. It's confirmation of something a lot of folks in Chicago don't want to admit. While our number one overall pick at quarterback keeps struggling with accuracy and decision-making in year two, there are two names making every Bears fan squirm in their seat every Sunday. And I gotta ask, how many more times are we gonna make the same mistake at the most important position in football? But that's not even the worst part, because while our defensive coordinator just had his worst showing of the season, letting a backup quarterback tear us apart, there are decisions being made at the top of this organization that make you wonder if we even know what we're doing. And if you think that's bad, wait till you hear what happened with our starting tight end. 3 stories that'll make you question everything about this season. Stick around till the end, because I'm gonna tell you exactly how I feel about the future of this team. And if you love the Bears as much as I do, you better hit that like button and subscribe, because this conversation is just getting started. 30-16. That was the beatdown we took in Baltimore. And you know what stings the most? Lamar Jackson didn't even play. Tyler Huntley, a backup quarterback, made us look like a high school team. But let me tell you what hurts even more than that loss. Caleb Williams just got outplayed by Tyler Huntley. Yeah, you heard that right. The kid we took with the number 1 overall pick. In the 2024 draft, the supposed savior of this franchise got completely outshined by a backup. And I ask you, how many times are we gonna go through this in Chicago? 24 games. That's how many Caleb Williams has played in the NFL, and after 24 games, I'm telling you this, there's been no progress. Worse, his accuracy is going backwards. He's missing throws that any elite-level starting quarterback should hit with their eyes closed. And the most concerning part, we're halfway through his second season and things aren't getting better. Against the 32nd ranked defense in points allowed across the whole league, we scored 1 touchdown. We didn't even crack 20 points for the first time all season. And the kid who was supposed to turn our luck around threw a brutal pick from our own end zone in the 4th quarter when we had a chance to close the gap. But here's what really breaks my heart. Jaden Daniels and Drake May, the 2 quarterbacks taken after Caleb. Let me remind you, what's going on with them while we're still sitting around waiting for our guy to wake up? Jaden Daniels was hands down the best rookie quarterback in the NFL in 2024. He led the Washington Commanders all the way to the NFC Championship game. And when he's healthy this season, he's been flat out electric. He's playing at a level we can only dream Caleb will reach someday. And Drake May, that kid's having a breakout year with the New England Patriots. 6 wins to losses. He's got them fighting for the AFC East title way ahead of schedule. Every week he's making throws that drop your jaw, creating plays with his legs, and playing like one of the league's rising stars. Meanwhile, here in Chicago, we're stuck in the same old cycle, wondering when our quarterback is going to take the next step. Stuck in mediocrity, feeling like a franchise that just can't get out of its own way. And I think this is the most frustrating part. Ryan Poles did everything he could to surround Caleb with weapons. We brought in Ben Johnson as offensive coordinator, supposed to be an offensive genius. We gave him receivers, a running back, protection. And still, here we are, 24 games in, and we haven't seen the leap we were all hoping for. Let me ask you this. Remember back in 2017 when we had the 3rd overall pick and traded up to take Mitch Trubisky? 8 picks later, Kansas City took Patrick Mahomes. 8 picks. And we all know how that turned out. Then, when it was clear Trubisky wasn't the answer, we used the 11th pick in 2021 on Justin Fields. And even though that was a weak quarterback class, the very next pick was Micah Parsons, who's become one of the most dominant defensive stars in the league. And now here we are again. We had the number 1 overall pick. Number 1. And I'm telling you this with all the pain in my heart. We don't have the best quarterback from that draft class. Not even close. Some folks will say maybe May and Daniels wouldn't have succeeded in Chicago with our organization. That maybe Williams would have shined somewhere else. And you know what? Those are interesting hypotheticals. But the facts in front of us are these. We had the number 1 pick in 2024. And right now, we don't have the best quarterback from that class. That's a problem. And it's a recurring problem for the Chicago Bears. I think what we saw Sunday in Baltimore is confirmation of our worst fears. Caleb still looks unsure on too many plays. His accuracy isn't just not improving, it's getting worse. And while he's still struggling with the basics, Daniels and May are playing like established franchise quarterbacks. So I ask you, how much longer are we gonna wait? How many more seasons are we gonna waste hoping something finally clicks? Because I'm telling you this, time doesn't wait for anyone in this league. And every week without progress is 1 week closer to having to admit that maybe, just maybe, we got it wrong again. The city of Chicago deserves better than this. After the Trubisky years, after the Fields era, after everything we've been through, we deserve to get this pick right. And so far, we haven't. If that surprised you, wait till you hear this. Because while everyone's talking about the quarterback, there's another coordinator who just had his worst game of the season. And I gotta ask, how does a defensive coordinator with Dennis Allen's experience let Tyler Huntley tear us apart like that? 186 passing yards with only 5 incompletions. 8 carries for 53 yards on the ground. Huntley did his best Lamar Jackson impression, and we had no answer. None. And here's what really ticks me off. Last week, Allen had a statement win against his old team, the New Orleans Saints. We were all celebrating. We thought we finally found the defensive formula. And then this total meltdown in Baltimore. I'm telling you right now, Allen overcorrected his defensive philosophy in a catastrophic way. Yeah, we went into this game without our top 3 corners. Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, Tyreek Stevenson all out. I get that when your secondary is banged up, you gotta adjust your scheme. But Allen went way too far in the wrong direction. He got way too passive with his play calls. Way too conservative. And the Ravens picked us apart, play after play. Short routes were open all game long for Baltimore. They moved the ball down the field like it was a walk-through. They kept their offense on the field with long drives and drained the clock on us. And I think that's inexcusable. Yeah, we had injuries in the secondary. But you know what? That's no excuse to wave the white flag before the game even starts. Allen basically admitted defeat with that ultra-conservative scheme. Instead of being aggressive and trying to confuse a backup quarterback, he sat back and let Huntley get comfortable. Let me ask you, aren't backup quarterbacks the ones who are supposed to be uncomfortable? Aren't we, with our monsters of the Midway legacy, supposed to be bringing pressure and attacking? But nope, Allen decided to play soft. And we paid the price. Montez Sweat was the only defensive player who showed up. 7 tackles, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, and another QB hit. He was our best guy on the field. But one player can't carry an entire defense, especially when the scheme is working against him. And here's the part that really worries me. This wasn't against Lamar Jackson. It wasn't against Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. It was against Tyler Huntley, a guy who's been a backup most of his career. And he made us look like the worst defense in the league. I'm telling you this, if we can't stop Tyler Huntley, how are we gonna stop the elite quarterbacks coming up on our schedule? We've got Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. We've got the Packers twice, the Vikings twice, the Lions twice. And if Dennis Allen is gonna panic and go ultra-conservative every time we have a few injuries, then we're in serious trouble. Because injuries happen. It's part of the game. And great defensive coordinators find ways to adjust without completely folding. Let me ask you, remember the Bears' defense in 2006, 2012, 2018? Those defenses played aggressive no matter who was hurt. They attacked. They brought pressure. They made life miserable for opposing quarterbacks. But on Sunday in Baltimore, we played scared. And I think that's unacceptable for a team that prides itself on defensive tradition. Chicago doesn't play scared. Chicago attacks. And Allen needs to remember that before our next game, because if we keep playing defense like this, it won't matter how well our offense plays. We're not gonna win big games. And all the hope we had for this season is gonna vanish faster than any of us can imagine. And just when you thought we were done, let me talk about another letdown from Sunday. Because while everyone's focused on the quarterback and the defense, there's one player who had a chance to step up and just didn't. Cole Kmet didn't suit up on Sunday. Our starting tight end was out. That meant Colston Loveland had to step up. This was his shot to show he could be a reliable contributor when the team needed him. And I asked you, what did we get? 3 catches for 38 yards on 5 targets. That's it. That's what we got from our backup tight end in a game where we desperately needed production from that position. And I'm telling you right now, that's not enough. Not even close. Ben Johnson drew up plays for him. Caleb looked his way 5 times. And all we got was 3 catches for 38 yards. In a game where we couldn't score touchdowns, where we kept coming up short in the red zone. We needed Loveland to be a dependable weapon. And he just wasn't. And here's what really worries me about this. It's not just that Loveland didn't put up big numbers. It's that in the critical moments when we needed third down conversions, when we needed someone to win one-on-one battles on short routes, he wasn't there. I think this exposes a bigger issue with our offensive depth. Yeah, we've got weapons when everyone's healthy. DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, Keenan Allen when he's available, Cole Kmet. But what happens when one of those guys goes down? What happens when we need someone off the bench to step up? Sunday gave us the answer, and it wasn't the one we wanted. Let me ask you, remember when we had Greg Olsen? That guy could go out and give you 8 catches for 90 yards any Sunday. He was a safety valve for our quarterbacks, a reliable third down target, a guy who could win in the red zone. Since Olsen left, we've been searching for that kind of consistent production from the tight end spot. Kmet's been solid when healthy, but he's not Olsen, and when Kmet's not available, we're exposed, and I'm telling you this, Loveland needs to be better, period. If he's gonna be our backup tight end, if he's gonna be the guy we count on when Kmet's out, then he needs to produce more than 38 yards. He needs to be someone Caleb can trust in pressure moments, because here's the reality. We're gonna have more games where Kmet isn't available, whether it's injury, rest, or whatever. And in those games, we can't afford to have a black hole at tight end. We can't afford to have a position that opposing teams can completely ignore. Let me ask you, how many games are we gonna lose this season because our depth wasn't good enough? How many times are we gonna come up short because when we needed someone off the bench to step up, they just couldn't do it? And I think this goes back to Ryan Poles and how the roster was built. Yeah, we've invested in offensive weapons, but did we invest in the right depth? Do we have the right guys on the bench who can produce when the starters go down? Sunday in Baltimore suggests maybe not. And that's a problem when we're trying to compete for a playoff spot in one of the toughest divisions in football. So let me break this all down for you. A number 1 overall pick at quarterback who's getting outplayed by the guys taken after him. A defensive coordinator who overcorrected his scheme and made us look like amateurs against the backup quarterback. And a depth issue that's costing us in critical moments. 3 problems. 3 reasons we lost in Baltimore. 3 things that need to be fixed immediately if we want any shot at doing something special this season. So I ask you, can Caleb Williams still become the franchise quarterback we all hoped for? Or did we make another historic draft mistake? Let me know what you think in the comments. Can Dennis Allen adjust his defensive philosophy and get back to the aggressive style that made this defense great? Or are we gonna keep playing scared every time we get a few injuries? I want to hear your thoughts below. And is our offensive depth good enough to compete when the starters go down? Or do we need to make moves before the trade deadline? Tell me what you'd do if you were Ryan Poles. Because I guarantee you this, tomorrow we're gonna have more Bears news. And you don't want to miss what's coming for Chicago. This season is far from over. And every week is gonna be critical in deciding whether we're a playoff team or if we're falling short again. So if you still believe Caleb can be the answer, hit that like button. If you think we made another draft mistake, subscribe to the channel. And if you just love the Bears as much as I do and want to be part of this family that bleeds navy blue and orange, then join this community. Because this is more than just a YouTube channel. This is a family of Chicago fans who suffered together, celebrated together, and are gonna keep supporting this team no matter what. But that doesn't mean we won't speak the truth. And the truth is we've got serious problems that need immediate solutions. So subscribe, hit the bell, share this video with every Bears fan you know, because this conversation is just getting started. And I'll be here every day bringing you the latest news, the deepest analysis, and the realest takes on our team. Bear down, Chicago. I'll see you in the next video.